city or just to the neighborhood?
What makes you think I'm new to the neighborhood?
You're running to or away from someone?
Learn to Swim. It's a new Canadian drama that showcased at TIFF and has its official premiere tonight at the Bell Lightbox before a wider release across the country. It follows the rocky relationship between Desi and Selma, two young jazz artists trying to find a future while reconciling some past demons. Joining me now is Tomas Anthony Olajide, who plays the lead character, Desi. Tomas, pleasure to see you.
Yeah, likewise, pleasure.
So this film made some noise at TIFF. It caught ears and it turned heads at the premiere at the Discovery program back in September. So we're 6 months later now. It's gone through the festival circuit. You're at the eve of a premiere. It's going across the country. What's the public feedback on this film been like to you?
It's been really wonderful. I mean, it seems to have really connected with people, particularly seeing the musical element of the film, as well as being able to show an aspect of Toronto that's rarely seen in film. So I feel like people have really appreciated those aspects of it, for sure.
You know, jazz music, it anchors this movie, and it's not the typical milieu of the millennials, right? It doesn't really line up with the TikTok generation that's into the sort of short, sharp hooks and licks and that kind of thing. But it really is the ideal soundtrack to sort of express the spirit and soul of the characters in this movie. They suffer in life, and they sort of suffer for their art too, don't they?
That's true. That's true. And I would agree with that when it comes to jazz. I mean, what I love so much about jazz is that it mixes the methodical with the improvisational.
Right.
And I feel like that's what we end up seeing actually in the film. And in fact, that was actually the process of making the film as well. There was a methodology to it, but we were also doing it in the thick of the pandemic. And so there had to be a level of improv and an openness to the unexpected in the making of it too.
Yeah. I mean, it's the only form of music, right, that it's not always notated. And some purists will tell you, if you can't notate it, it's not music. Well, jazz is music, I submit.
I would agree, absolutely. I would agree, yeah.
You know, the overarching sort of ethos of this film, Learn to Swim, seems to be that the past is going to catch up to you, right? You can't outrun your past. You can't outsmart the truth. Am I warm?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And the more that the past is resisted, the more that it actually seeks you out and forces you eventually to reconcile with who you were and who you are.
Right. And your character, Desi, you know, he lives and he loves, he suffers some loss, some tragedy, and he sort of seeks solitude to get through it. He pushes people and everything else out of his life. That often helps artists to create better, but solitude can sometimes lead to isolation, and that's a killer. Isolation is not a good place to be.
Agreed. I feel like in any process, whenever it reaches its extreme form and is unable to change, it does reach toxicity. And so we see that in Desi. We see that he has isolated himself and is not willing to let that change. And again, the more he refuses that change, the more disaster arises.
Tomas Anthony Olajide, thank you very much. Learn to Swim premieres tonight at TIFF Bell Lightbox and across the country at Cineplex Theaters. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.